Hole 1. First I'm going to show you the safe way, then I will show you the hole-in-one line, and then I will show you how to get out of that tricky back corner. Starting with the safe way, what you're going to want to do is just put it to that second hill, just enough to get it to not go over, and to put you in that final square area, and then just put it in for 2. Now that I've showed you the safe way, I'm going to go over the hole-in-one route real quick. What you're going to want to do from the tee box is you're going to aim left of this dot, just left of it. You don't want the right side of your ball touching it. You don't want it that close, a little bit farther left, just a tad bit. What your ball is going to do, it's going to bounce off the wall about right here and send it right down this line. But for your pace, when your ball heads this way and it hits this pyramid, you want it to clear the second side. So when it hits and ramps, you want it to clear the second side so it's going to land on the green. Continue going that way. If you're a little light, it's going to bounce, or it's going to ramp off this pyramid and it's going to hit on this face. And what that's going to do is it's going to straighten the ball out to either hit here and do like a little thing, which then you'll still have a safe 2, or it could even bring your ball this way to where you're gonna have to try to do the a bank shot from here, and it's possible, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So real quick with the hole-in-one line, again right there, so you can see it doesn't exactly touch the dot, but it's left of it. You're looking to get it about this far into this little rectangle area. And again, for the pace, when it ramps, you can see it clears that second side and keeps the ball going straight. And you'll just bank it in off the back into the hole. Real quick, I want to show you a couple of ways to escape this area over here if you accidentally end up in it, and to recover your shot and still get a 2. For example, if you're going for the hole-in-one line I showed you and you underhit it, what it's going to do, it's going to bring you this way. I find from experience and practice, as long as your ball is farther than a putter head away, these shots work. If you're closer than that, you're probably better off just laying it up right here and then putting it in for a 3. But for this shot right here, there's actually 2 different ways to get it in depending on your pace. First one is to just hit it at the perfect pace to reach the hole and cut this corner as much as possible, and it'll go in. And the second one is to aim for the end of this wall and get a second bank by the light and into the cup. I'm going to try to show you both. Starting off with the lighter, more pace reliant shot. Just like that. As you can see, I cut this corner as close as I can. Just enough gusto to get it to the hole, and voila, hole recovered. For the second way to get out of this spot, instead of just hugging this corner as much as possible and risking hitting it and heading back to the tee box, you're going to want to go about this far away and hit this wall. It's going to bank one more time over here by the light and hopefully into the cup. I find this one being less risky, but it requires 2 banks versus just the 1. Just like that. Right there at the end of the wall for a double bank. Again, it's going to vary depending on where your ball is. I would say don't even try it if it's closer to the wall by a putter head length. Hole 2. Now there is a pretty unreliable hole-in-one line where you come to the right of here and it does some magic and hits the back fence and comes in. Sometimes you just get lucky and it does something else and comes in. But other than that shot, there's two pretty reliable shots to get your ball in this area for a chance at a 2. With it being a par 4, that's an eagle. So that's the goal on this hole. I'm going to start off with the more basic and common way. And what that is you're going to aim for this little, I don't even know what to call it, it's just a lot of little dark dots. You can go right through that. It's going to be right at these darker dots that are by the wall. And that's going to bring you through. Going to rattle a couple times right here, bring over here, and these little bridges happen to be declined. So as soon as your ball makes it on here, it gets a little more momentum to push it out. Obviously, the harder you're going to hit it over there, the farther it can come. And I'm going to try to show you. So that's a pretty ideal spot. You can get it a little further going that way, but if you hit too hard, you risk hitting the end of one of these and then being stuck in the middle for a second putt, and then hopefully a third, maybe a fourth. So from here, you're just going to read the hill. Obviously, if the hole is left, the hill is going to turn it left, so you want to aim right of the hole. Depending on your pace, it'll change how your ball reacts. As for the second way to get your ball over to this area for a 2, I actually prefer this method. It is a more difficult tee box shot, but it usually gives you more of a straight line at the cup for a second shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to aim right for this little tiny line right here. You can see 2 little dashes. Your ball's going to go right over that second one, dash, dash. And if you can't see that, come to practice mode and just practice hitting the end of this bridge. It's going to come on this first bridge, kiss the end of it, do a left bank onto the second bridge, and it's going to keep going. So come to practice, aim for this, get it to where it works, and then use your replay to find your own spot to aim for. Alright, here we go. Might have been a little too hard. Let's go lighter this time. And too light. So naturally this third one should be the perfect speed. As you can see, as long as you get that kiss at the end of the bridge, it works. It works pretty well. This is ideally where I want to end up at. Makes that second shot a little bit easier. Hole 3. This one's pretty simple. The goal is to just hit that corner over there. Have it roll your ball over here for a 2. As you can see, it leaves you with not a very short putt, but it's not very long either. The way I like to do it, which this line, if you push the limits and pace it perfectly, it can go in the hole, but I never tried to do the hole-in-one. I more so do this shot just to get a closer shot to the hole, because it's really not that hard. There's 2 little dots right here. You're just going to hit left of it at a good pace. It's not too much shorter, but sometimes you can get it all the way through about right here, and a rare chance for it to actually go into the hole. Should show you the line real quick. That's the idea. When it goes in the hole, it usually hits a lot harder and then barely nips this corner, and then you know it has a chance of going in. Now, since this hole is so uneventful, I wanted to show one of the hole-in-one lines that I know of that you might want to try in doubles, because chances are your teammate will be over there for a 2, so you might as well give it a shot. You never know. This shot requires really good aim and perfect pace, as you can see here. So not only do you need to hit this tiny triangle, but you need to hit it on the left corner. One more time. Hole number 4. I'm going to show you the safe way to get a 3, which is a birdie, and then I'll go over the two shot for the eagle. So starting off, I like to go left. You can go either way. I like to put my ball as far against the wall as I can. Closer to better. Just because when you're closer over here, you have a better angle to get into that center square. I'm going to show you what you need to do if you're slightly too short. So you would think that you didn't have this. There's actually a way to hop the corners if you know how to do it. With some practice, you'll know exactly where you need to hit it to do that. Real quick again, close to the wall as possible. Alright, this one is going to go into the center. And then that's your 3. Now that I showed you the safe way to get a 3, I'm going to show you the not so safe way to get a 2. What you're going to do is aim for these 2 little dots right here. Not sure if you can see them. If you can, you're going to go right over those. It's going to hit the side of the stone and send your ball up in the air for a bounce or 2. Hit the wall. Either land by the opening or inside the inner square. If you end up hitting the ball too hard, you'll know because it'll send it up really high. What you want is a nice medium, about this high arch. That's going to send you forward. Just like that. For the 2. And just to show you that it is repeatable, I'm just going to try to do it again. And there's an opening one for another 2. And of course I missed that, but you get the point. Hole number 5. There's only really one way to do this. That is to thread your ball through this for a 2. You could test your skill with the hill. Have it roll to the left enough for a 2. But I honestly think putting it straight is a whole lot easier. Right over here, just so you have a look at the hole, and voila. If you ever find yourself too short to have a clear sight at the hole whenever you do your long putt, it's alright. You can either take your medicine and get the 3, or you can chance it with these corners. Enough practice with these corners and you'll start sinking them in the game. Just like that. Not much I can tell you other than just learning the pace with these corners and how much you can actually get away with. Obviously, the farther you're going, the harder you're going to have to hit, and that usually turns it sharper.
Yes, Afro. There is something I would like to know, Afro.
Hole number 6. This one is hole-in-oneable, and the hole-in-one line is repeatable. But first, I'm going to show you the safe way to do it, and that is to just put it out there into the open. Get your nice line. Sometimes you're going to have to cut that corner. Even if I didn't cut the corner, I went in. But what I like to do, and this is really fun, I like to send my ball the right side of it touching that dot, and then the ball just kind of goes around the corner or that dot. It doesn't really hit it. With a good enough pace, you can get it to go in the hole, or at least over there for a safer 2. Even if you don't get it, for example, my bad, 1 second. Oh my gosh, there we go. Then you're over here, you don't have to mess with the corners. So a lot of times you try that shot, you get it down, you can still get it over here, and you'll get your 2. If you went for the layup shot to try to get a 2 and you happen to hit it a little too far, if you hit it too far enough, there is a way to still get your 2, just by banking it off that far wall, like so. Hole number 7. First, I'm going to show you 2 safer ways to get your ball up to the top platform and get it in for a 2, and then I'll show you the hole-in-one line. I personally always go for the hole-in-one line. There's nothing wrong with doing this one in 2, because I'm sure you've had the experience where you keep hitting it back and forth. So getting a 2 on this hole is pretty good. So the first line, there's 2 little lines right here. I try to hit the wall right next to those. It gets all enough pace, and it tucks me right up in the corner up there. That's actually the line I use to get the hole-in-one on the easy course. So for example, it's just right there. You hit the wall right next to it. As you can see, dead center would have went in the hole on the easy course. This is not the easy course. Next, the other safe way to do this is to just hit it with enough pace to hit it about right here. It's going to knock it in, and then you'll have a longer putt for 2. The thing about the hard course is these 2 edges right here are punishing. So if you hit there, as you can see, it's going to bring it back that way or bring it back that way. On the easy course, they're aimed inward, so if you hit them, you're still up. And that's the other 2. So I've showed you a couple of ways to get up there for a safe 2. So now I'm going to show you the hole-in-one line that I actually use every time I play this course. Thanks to Stroke Limit Reese for showing me this a long time ago. What you want to do is you're going to see these 2 little dashes right here. Hit your ball right through that second one that's farther away. Nice solid putt. It's going to bank, 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 hop, bank, bank in. Sounds like a lot, and I'll go over it real quick. The reason why you want to hit it with some juice is because it's banking 5 times. So it's going to hit here, just like that, over that second one. It's going to hit over here. What that's going to do is just send it about right here. Because this is an incline and it has a hill, once it hits that wall, it's going to hop. It's right over this. 2 more banks. Bang, bang, and into the cup. Sounds like a lot is going on. Trust me, if you can get that line and that pace, that's all you have to worry about. Hit it right there and hard. The ball will do the rest of the work. Hole number 8. This one is hole-in-oneable as well. And it's very similar to the easy course, except they've pulled these hills in a little farther. So what you want to aim for, to try to get the hole-in-one, most times ends with a 2, which is still good because this is a par 4. You can hit here. Don't overhit it because you will bounce out. You hit it enough, just enough for it to come down this hill and give you a little nudge right here. The trick for the hole-in-one is to get it to do that third bank right here. 1, 2, 3. It's going to come around, go right in the cup. Again, it's not right on the line, it's right after. Good solid pace. Come through here, bank, bank, bank. Into the cup. Real quick, I'm going to show you a second way to get the hole-in-one. But this way I find a little less trustworthy just because it's really easy to bounce out. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to hit your ball right here. It's almost to the dark spot. There it is, right over that. It's going to come right over like that. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring your ball all the way over here for a bank off the back wall. And you actually do not want it to hit this corner this time. You want it to clear it real close like that. It's going to hit that hill right here. It's going to push it that way. The reason for is this one's not going to go straight in the cup. It's got one more bank to do. Bang, miss, bank, and both of these shots that I'm showing you can result in 2s a lot of the time. So honestly, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't go for them, because I mean, yeah, you could bounce out, but if you can get a hole-in-one and most of the time a 2, then that's a pretty good route. Hole number 9. This one can be pretty difficult. The way I like to go about it is I like to go for the hole-in-one, because even if it misses, a lot of the times it still lands in this area for a chance at a 2. So the way that I do that is I look for these 2 dots. I go for the left one and I go right over it. A good solid pace, because what you're going to want it to do, it's going to cut this corner and then hit it a little to straighten out. Just like that. So again, right over this left dot. Cut the corner a little bit. Just going to straighten it out. A lot of times you'll get lucky. It'll hit the corner a little differently, where it just comes over here and then goes in. But still, hole-in-one's a hole-in-one. So one more time. Right through that left dot. Alright, hole number 10. There is a safe way to do this in 5 shots. Since it's a par 8, that'll give you a -3 or an albatross. The way to do that is you're going to go to this right hole. You're going to keep it right. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. So again, from the tee box, that's right hole, right hole. Bring it in here, you only have one option. Bring it in here where you only have one option, and then put you by the hole for 5. So now that I've shown you how to get down to the cup in just 5 shots for an albatross, I'm going to show you the risky way that most people try to get it in 2 or 3, and that is by hitting the cup straight on and using the back of the cup to hop the ball over these walls. Ideally, you'll get down here for a 2, but there's nothing wrong with getting in this area for a 3. So, see if we can do this. A lot of times you're relying on that lucky bounce off of a lamp post or something like that for the 2. Again, before I put it in, you just never know what kind of bounce you're going to get with these rocks and these lamps. But as you can tell, that's obviously better than taking 5 shots to get down here. Hole 11. This one is a pretty easy 2, and sometimes one of the more common hole-in-ones that I get on this course. What I'm looking for is a string of dots right here. I want my ball to almost go over all of those. It's not in line with them, but it's gonna start with this one, and eventually it's gonna go all over those. It's gonna bank 1, 2, and then it's gonna come over here and drop down and bank one more time and go into the cup. Just like that. Bang, bang, drop down, bang. Again, those dots, string them right here. Go over all of them. So there's a second hole-in-one line for this hole if you don't like banking to the left. I find that it's riskier because what you're going to do is you're going to go about a little bit further than a putter head away from this corner, right here. And as you can see, it's going to come straight over here. The reason why it's risky, as you can see, if you're just too right, just a little bit, it's going to hit right here, and you're going to be stuck in this spot, hoping that you get some kind of recovery shot for a 2, instead of at least being down there. Here's the shot from the tee box. You can see kind of this little smudge right here. Not sure if you can see it. That's what it goes right over. And again, it's a little more than a putter head away from the wall. Maybe a putter head and a half. Hole 12. So for hole 12's hole-in-one, I like to do a late bank towards the end of this to bounce, kick off this rock, and get enough speed to just hit this back bank and go into the cup. Like so. The line for it is right here, this little dot right here at the end of my putter head, kind of stands out among the rest. Go right over that. Of course, you have to practice your pace. Just enough to not bounce over the end, to make it for the bank. Now that I've shown you the bank shot that I like to do at the end, you obviously can just go straight at the cup like this and then get the bank. Only reason why I prefer going to the bank is because that dot right there is a really easy and close target to hit, versus on this one I just like to go right of this dot and then right of that one. Hole 13. So this one is only a par 2. So your best bet is to just hit in the middle of this, a good solid pace to hit here and end up by the hole for a 2. Get your par and move on, because the hole in one is only going to make you lose strokes. If you do want to try the hole in one, if you're playing doubles or something, you aim just right at that cup over there, like this. And you're really looking for some lucky bounces. As you can tell, I got a few lucky bounces in that one line. Can't really rely on this. So that's why I say maybe try it just in doubles. Never know, you might get lucky. Like I said, you're better off just going for the 2 like this. Nice, solid, firm hit. Line you up right with the hole. And grab the 2. Hole 14. There's 2 different ways I like to play this hole. Both require hitting it into the tube and getting 2 different types of lies down there at the bottom. So what you want to do is hit it into the tube. It's a little bit to the left, it's not straight from the tee box. Just keep that in mind. When you're down here, you want to imagine that this square is split into 2 diagonally. So you got the left shot when it lands on the left side of the imaginary line, and then the right shot. The left shot, which I prefer because it just looks fancier, it's a 4-banker, meaning it's going to bank here, 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 there, and then go in. Again, you want to tuck it kind of close to the lamp. I'm going to give it some juice too. It's going to bank 4 times. Again, I'm going to let you see that from above. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, real quick, maybe if it gives me the right side lie, I can show you the other one. Perfect. So now it's on the right side of that imaginary line. You're going to bank it right here, right there, and then it's a 2-banker. And again, right around the end of that shadow, depending on where you lie up. This one you want to pace a little better so it reaches the hole. But you're not going to be hitting it nearly as hard as the 4-banker because it's only 2 banks. So hole 15. This one's a pretty quick one because it's really the only way that I do it. So I look for these 2 little dots. Kind of looks like a snake bite. 1, 2. I'm going to send my ball straight through the middle of them. pretty fast, just so whenever it's going to hit here, it's going to come over here, and it's going to come off the wall. The reason why I like to hit it a little harder is because instead of it coming down and just hugging the wall, making it more difficult to shoot because you are up against the wall. If you hit it a little harder, it'll come down and then bank off this wall a little bit, giving you a more open shot. For example, 1, 2, that's right. Hit it hard enough, it'll bounce off the wall, just like that. And now I don't have to worry about this line affecting my aim. Hole 16, I'm going to show you two different ways to do this one. The first one is going to go right by this streak right here. See that little streak right there? It's going to go right to the right of it. It's going to hit this triangle, bounce right here off this rock, come back, hit this angle, and hopefully go in. The shot, if it doesn't go in, it still usually keeps you at a 2, as long as you can hit it right. Again, just right of that, off that triangle, off that rock, into the cup. Just see it from above. 1, 2, 3. For the second shot, it doesn't usually end in a hole-in-one. I've dunked it one time before. But it's more so just to guarantee a 2, and even the 2 ends up in a long putt. And what you're going to do is going to be similar to that first shot. You're going to aim for the same spot, but instead of hitting the pace right here, you're going to go all the way to the bottom. You're going to skip everything, hit down here. It's going to come forward, hit the top of this rock, and shoot way up in the air, and come back. Usually it hits one of these parts of these hills and then brings it back around here for a medium-sized putt. Again, skip them all. That rock, it's that hill, brings it in for a 2. As you can see, it's the exact same aiming spot for that hole-in-one, right past that streak. Some room for error. I went to the left a little. Yeah, one time I guess I hit it with the rock and went dong. That's just a cherry on top. Put it in for 2. Hole 17. This is a game-changing hole, especially here towards the end of the round. I definitely recommend coming to practice mode and getting this hole down because it can really make the difference whether or not you win or lose a match. The easy course, normally you would aim for the left side of this brick. Here on the hard course, it's going to be a little farther over. So if you were to split it in the middle, it'd probably be the middle of the left. You're going to hit it enough pace to hit both boards, come up the hill and then start to slow down so that the hill will turn towards the hole. Go right through this smudge right here. Again, it's this smudge right here. So you go right through that. Right here. And as you see, when it hits that second bank, slows down, turns, and goes into the cup. If you find that you're having trouble with the hole-in-one line, there's a way to split it up into segments for a few different layups. Obviously, if you're going to aim to lay it up right here, you might as well learn the hole-in-one line that I showed you and just get that down. The other two layups are going to be laying it up right here and laying it up right here. First, I'll show you the one laying it up like that. You're going to follow the hole-in-one line. You're just going to hit it light to where the ball just lands right by that board. Smudge. Right up against it. So this one, most of the time ends up in a 3, which is still a birdie. What you're going to want to do is hit about a quarter down on this board to the left, just like you do from the tee box. A little hard, you go a little left, and then to the hole. Just want to do a 3, get a little lighter. Still went in. It's not as easy as I'm trying to make it look. Still, you get up here, got your 3, got your birdie, you can move on. As for that second layup shot, if you're still not confident with the hole-in-one line, instead of laying it up right here and getting that banking in, you want to bank it once and lay it up on this second level. So you want to hit it a little harder than when you lay it up here, and obviously lighter than the hole-in-one line. I like to go for the same line always. A little harder. Gives you a nice safe little spot. I say this mostly works if you like about that far, because then you can still make it in. And then you're home golden. Again, just lay it up, read the hill, and you just got a 2. A lot easier, in my opinion, than the hole-in-one. But I will always go for the hole-in-one, because why not? Hole 18, everyone's favorite hole. No, not really. Be very punishing, especially when you get stuck in a cycle where you're just going in circles right here. The way I like to do this hole is I aim for this smudge right here, or the second dark line. It hops, hits the inside of this. It kind of pops out and gets saved by the fence, and then you're over here for a 2. It's a par 6. The goal is to get it in 2. I'll show you a couple ways to do it, starting with the way that I normally approach it. Just like that. Before I put it in, I'll do a replay. Again, as you can see, it goes straight over this and straight through this second dark stripe. And like I said, it's going to hit the inside wall and use the fence to bounce it back in. That is the way I usually like to play it. Mostly because it either goes out of bounds, so I'm not stuck right here and I have another chance at it, or sometimes it hits the inside of this wall and then you're over here, and I can show you a trick whenever you're over here on how to still end up getting a 3. Okay, for the second way to get your ball over there for a 2 is you're going to hit your ball around there's 2 little dots right here, right before it. I don't normally do this shot, so I pre-recorded it just so I can explain it, because I see other skilled players going for it. Only problem I don't like about it is if you're too light, then you get stuck here and then you're screwed. It won't go out of bounds. And also, if you're too hard, it will do this cool line where it gets you in the end zone, but then it puts you in this corner, and you got to go for some kind of bank to get your 2. If you can lightly get it over like this, then your 2 should be no problem. So as I said earlier, I'm going to show you a trick that if your ball's ever in this section, how to get it over safely for a 3. The only thing is, let's draw one of those invisible lines again right in the middle. If your ball is right of this invisible line, this will not work, and it becomes a lot harder and a lot sketchier, where if you risk it, you could end up just hitting it in here, and then you're going to have to restart. So just remember, when you're left of this line is when it works. And the trick is, aim straight at the hole. Right over there at the flag. Right over there at the flag, pretty hard. It's going to jump here, it's going to bank here, and it's going to bring it back this way. Just aim right at the hole. Only if you're on this left side. Again, as you can see, there is some room for error, but yeah, you can see I aimed straight for the hole. So the reason why that works is because, as you can see, it doesn't hit this inside wall because there's plenty of space, and that's why it being over here will not work. Aim straight at the hole, it's going to hit that wall. You might get lucky. If you hit it hard enough, you're going to get a long line though.